Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 17 of Get Real with Rajiv. And today we have Shweta again, who's going to be the voice of your questions. So Shweta, shoot the first question.
The first question is by Kaushal on Facebook, and his question is how to judge as to when to stop following with a customer for a deal or a project.
Kaushal, my friend, I feel your pain. For years I've been a sales professional and I know how it feels to just wait and then wait again. And I know this entire process of waiting and then following up is a very tricky situation for most salespeople and entrepreneurs because we don't know when to stop and when not to stop. Sometimes if you stop too early, your customer builds a perception that you're not following up, which means you're not serious enough about the deal. And sometimes if you over follow up, your customer feels you're being too pushy. So I understand that dilemma. So here's the best way I figured out over a period of time. It was not during the time of follow-up where I set this ground rule, which I'm going to teach you right now. During my sales interactions, during my sales meetings with my customers, when they would tell me, send us a proposal and we'll get back to you, I would always take permission in that meeting itself saying, hey, I will send you the proposal, but I have one request. My only request is after I send you a proposal, in how much time would you like for me to follow up? And while you give me a timeline, sometimes you may be busy. So is it okay if I continue to follow up till I get a clear answer from you? Now, when you set up this kind of an equation and when you take this kind of a permission way much in advance, then you following up no longer becomes this pushy habit from your side because you've taken the permission in advance. So the key would be, Kaushal, take the permission in advance and through the process of follow-up also give your customer the permission to say no. Sometimes our customers don't give us a clear response even though they are clear that it's a no because they feel that we may get offended by it. So make it easy. It's not easy for people to say a no to anyone. So make it easy for them to even say a no. So give them that permission saying, hey, if things don't work out, what I would like is for you to tell me a no directly, and even if you tell me a no, it doesn't mean things between us end. Because if a relationship closes because the sale did not close, then that relationship is very, very hollow, my friend. So create that level of comfort for your customers where they enjoy staying connected to you and they know that even saying the no will not break your heart. So these are a few basics that most salespeople often miss out on because they're too focused on just closing the deal. I would say focus on building the relationship rather than closing the deal. Life will become much more convenient for both you and the customer. So that's my 2 cents of advice for you, Kaushal. Shweta, what's the second question we have?
The second question was on YouTube. It's by Vinod, and his question is, as business owners, we're very enthusiastic about conducting meetings with our team, but the employees aren't as enthusiastic to be part of the meetings with us. What should we do?
I feel the pain of your team members on this one, Vinod. Well, in all honesty, here's why people don't like meetings. People don't like meetings if the meeting is driven only by one person. Meetings are supposed to be a dialogue. But in most organizations, because the managers or the business owners have not learned the art of facilitating effective meetings, then they go into a monologue where it's almost as though they dump the goals, dump the direction on people, and people have to just nod their head or pretend to make notes because they want to pretend to be interested in the meeting. So the first checkpoint for you to check is your meeting a dialogue or a monologue? The second thing is why people don't like meetings is in most meetings, the only thing that happens is intellectual discussions, no decisions. And when decisions are not made and meetings go on forever just based on intellectual discussions of people, that kind of steals away people's productive time. And that's why they are averse to meetings. So here is what I believe. I believe every business needs 3 types of meetings. One type of meeting every business needs is a creation meeting. These are meetings where you're creating goals, you're creating strategies, you're creating plans, and you're kind of opening up the creation responsibility to everyone. So it's not like you are the only person who's creating and then giving direction. So create creation meetings where you come in with questions and not the answers. That would make your meetings a lot more engaging because you're posing the questions and you're putting the team at work to think and apply their mind and come up with the answers. Where people are engaged, they love those kind of meetings and conversations. The second type of meetings any business needs are what I call review meetings, which is where you need to hold people accountable. So creation meetings are for creating goals, plans, strategies. Review meetings are for reviewing what people were supposed to do, have they done it or not done it, and if they have not done it, what support do they need, what stops them. The mistake we make in review meetings is when people have not done things, we attack them, we assassinate their character, we blame them, and it becomes an entire exercise of finger pointing, which leads nobody to any goal or outcome. I mean, think about it. When you ask people what they were supposed to do and have they done it or not, and when they say they're not done it, the most common question we ask people is, why have you not done it? Now, I always ask this question to entrepreneurs and managers. I ask them, do you love stories, reasons, and excuses? And most of them tell me no. But the reality is, when you ask a person, why have you not done it? You're asking them for a reason or a story. You're asking them for an excuse. And when they give you the story, you yell back at them saying, don't give me reasons. But the reality is, they need to yell back at you and say, don't ask me for reasons. So the key is to have effective review meetings where the focus is on checking what's the status and how do we get on track, and not on checking what's the status and why are we not on track. These are two different directions of review, and that's why most review meetings become a playground of conflict, because we don't do it the right way. So that's the second type of meeting. The third type of meeting every business needs are what I call action meetings. These are your daily stand-up meetings to just align people's focus for the day on what are those 2 or 3 critical tasks that they will get done for the day. When each person's clear about that, then you have a focused army at the workplace. So the key is to have creation meetings, review meetings, and action meetings. When you do this as a meeting facilitator or as a boss or a leader, you're walking in with questions, not with the answers. And when you walk in with questions, you utilize the intelligence of people. They are engaged, they love the meeting, and that's how they build a high performance meeting culture. So I hope that helps you. Shweta, what's the third question?
The third question is by Rajesh on Facebook, and his question is, how do you recruit the right candidate for sales?
Well, recruiting the right candidate for sales is like finding the ideal son-in-law. There's none on the planet. Okay, Rajesh, just to kind of put you at peace, what you need to understand is this. Our perception while hiring salespeople is that we need to find the perfect candidate who will come in and bring in loads of business for our company. It doesn't work that way. In all honesty, yes, I'm going to tell you what are some basic elements that you need to look for in a candidate for sales. But at the same time, the larger question every entrepreneur needs to answer is, what is my sales management system? Because most entrepreneurs do not have a proper sales management system, because of which they are not able to retain salespeople, because of which they are not able to develop salespeople, because of which they are not able to enhance the performance of salespeople. So that's the larger issue that I see in most businesses than finding the right sales candidate. But considering you've asked me how do you hire the right sales candidate, here's what I would look out for in a sales candidate. I would look out for prior experience, and preferably in the same industry. So I would look out for prior experience in the same industry, and if I'm not finding a candidate with prior experience in the same industry, then I would look at a fresher, knowing fully that when I hire a fresher, I need to provide my time, my energy, and my mentoring to this individual, nurture this person over a period of time, keep their motivation and self-esteem levels really, really high. Because the biggest mistake you can make while developing a salesperson is when they're not getting the desired results, to actually assassinate their character, blame them, or tell them they are not good enough. Remember this, for a salesperson, their biggest asset is their self-worth and their self-esteem and their self-confidence, and it does not help a salesperson, especially someone who's in the learning phase, to be told that they can't, to be told that they're not good enough. In fact, when you want to develop a great sales team, one of the rules of a phenomenal sales leader is that even when the team gets a rejection, the sales leader picks up people's energy rather than puts them down by saying, see, you didn't do a good job. So please understand this, Rajesh, that you need to be willing to provide time, effort, energy to this individual to chisel them into a salesperson. And the best way to develop them is to take them along with you for sales meetings. I call this shadowing, where you take them along for 10-20 meetings where you do the meeting, they watch you. Then you go along with them for another 10-20 meetings where part of the meeting is done by them, part of the meeting is done by you. And then after that, you go along with them for a third set of meetings where another 10-20 meetings where they are doing it and you're shutting up and watching. The biggest mistake you can make is not do the third cycle, which is they are doing and you are watching, and assume that because you've done the first 2 cycles, they know what they can do. No, sales is a partnership. So, when 2 salespeople go together for sales meetings on the field, that's when true relationships are built. That's when true friendships get created. And that's a great opportunity for you as an entrepreneur to build a sales army that connects not just to your company, but connects to you. So be proactive about managing salespeople. That's how you build the right sales team. That's the real secret. Otherwise, there's no real secret, or there's no real marketplace where you can go and hire the right sales candidate from. That's the way I have learned it in all these years of business, for myself at least. Shweta, what's the fourth question?
The fourth question is by Annalise Manchanta Piers on Facebook, and her question is, how do I take the leap to do what my heart truly desires? I'm currently straddling two horses, my old business that pays relatively consistently and my not so lucrative one at the moment. I need to have the time to build the second one and establish it online where it can earn as much as the one that demands so much of my time and energy.
Well, Annalise, what you're sharing with me now is that there's one business that's giving you jabe satisfaction, the other is giving you job satisfaction, and you are kind of torn apart between the two to see how the one that gives you a lot of job satisfaction is giving you jabe satisfaction as well. So in all honesty, Annalise, there's no real right time. It's actually when you're frustrated of being frustrated about not being able to give enough time to the second business is when you will be ready to make that jump. Because right now you're trying to play it too safe. You want everything to be too sorted in your life. So there are ways of doing that, and it is a longer journey, which means that the first business that is giving you consistent income, I would say build a team, build systems so that the business starts working without you, and that's very, very doable. And know what you expect from that business, okay, for yourself. If it's not something you have a big vision for, it's not something you're too ambitious about, I would say find a partner or a team member who's capable enough to build it, grow it, and you get your sustenance, royalty, or whatever that you aspire as a reward for yourself for building that business for all these years. But the only way to build the business that gives you most amount of happiness and satisfaction, Annalise, is to take the jump. Okay, you can't sail the ocean by standing at the shore and looking at the sky and asking God, when is the right time? You got to give yourself that right time and say, hey, you know what? I'm probably tired of not being able to do what I love. And you got to take that jump, and take that jump as long as it does not damage survival for you. I am not a big fan of making decisions that damage people's financial survival. With what it sounds like, I think you're in a pretty sorted space because you already have one business that's giving you consistent income. So I think you can afford a little bit of inconsistency and take that jump, Annalise. So just sail the ocean, my friend. That's all I would say. So with that, we're done with 4 questions for this episode of Get Real with Rajiv. And it's time for us to pick the winner who gets a copy of my book Lead or Bleed for this week. So Shweta, indicate for me. Okay, so I kind of like Shweta's choices every time she picks them. So we're going to go with Vinod, who asked us a very, very relevant question about meetings. So Vinod, thank you so much for asking that question. And I think it's a very important question for us entrepreneurs to understand that meetings are important. Which means if it's not working the right way in our business, we need to become effective at facilitating effective meetings. So Vinod, you're going to get a copy of my book Lead or Bleed. And here's the good news, Vinod. There's a chapter in my book Lead or Bleed which is on a review meeting system called Stop Review Meetings. Please have a read on that because that will give you a template for running effective meetings as well. So thank you so much everybody for watching this episode of Get Real with Rajiv. Like every single time, I have only 2 requests from you if these videos add value to you. Number 1, make sure you ask us more questions in the comments below. And number 2, make sure you share this video so that more entrepreneurs get access to this knowledge that we are sharing with you. So go ahead and comment and share. Thank you so much everybody. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Get Real with Rajiv.